but it's super workable. It's really clear. And we can make it work. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now, as we did last week, I'd like to start charting.
should. The scripture told me that I had to be good. Now I love 'cause I want to, love 'cause I'm free, blinded by the Spirit. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. I don't need any pardon, don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. Let go of the burden. Let me know that I'm free, blinded by the Spirit. Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, thought it was my duty, I thought it was my job. Somewhere believe that loving God should be hard. Loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. Now I'm free in the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, every day. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, yes, it is. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, don't you feel it? Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is.
Awesome, Les. Leslie's in the house. If you're comfy, stay standing and join the hand with the person next to you. This is Shirley the Presence.
Let us pray. Indeed, the presence of God is here because you are here. God lives, moves, has its being in, through, and as you. And just as we reside in the infinite love of the divine, it is through us the infinite love of the divine is made visible. So today, thank you for being here. I thank you for each and every moment in your lives beyond today, that you choose to live from the divine, that you choose to live as God, that you choose to live as a presence of all that is. that you choose to transform yourselves in the world by realizing the ineffable Spirit that is God, that which is invisible but always visible, that which is beyond comprehension but can be so deeply understood. The paradox that is God is the paradox that is you. You are God's greatest gift to this world. And we are grateful. And we're here to celebrate that. So let's do it. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning. I'm Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. So thrilled to have you here. And indeed, the presence of God is in, through, and as you. So as I love to say, if you want to see the face of God, you simply need to see the face of another. So turn to someone and say, God looks good today. Indeed. God looks good. Now, when I do that in the future, please feel free to use your own variations. You know, you could be like, hey, God, looking good. Or, you know, you can play around with it. You don't have to say word for word. Use your. But remember that not just in this moment, but every day you walk out into the world, you know, and realize it can be uncomfortable, it can be awkward, it can be, oh, Lord, do I really have to see the face of God in this person? Yeah, you can have those moments, but it's the truth. It is the truth. I am thrilled to be here and facilitating with this face of God. This is Amy Jocelyn, in case you don't know who she is. Something I've shared before, but you may not know. Amy was the first one who called me up about, 5 years ago, and saying, hey, you want to come teach a class? And that really set the wheels in motion. Here I am. So depending on your point of view, you either have to give her thanks or it's all her fault that I'm here. Amy.
I'm so glad I did that, Ogun, actually.
Me too.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Amy Jocelyn. I am a licensed union teacher candidate, and I will be facilitating the service today with Reverend Ogun Holder and our fab music team. Are they not in our choir? Are they not the best?
You're the best crowd ever.
Ooh, now I'm really on. Woo! Okay. And this is the time in the service we like to just welcome in our streamers, the people that are streaming at home. Welcome, streamers. We appreciate your presence. And now we'd also like to welcome anyone who is visiting us for the first time. If you would raise your hand. Excellent. Thank you. It's awesome. Our ushers will bring you a welcome packet. Our ushers will bring you a welcome packet and a flower. We ask you to fill out the welcome packet information in the beginning and bring that to our Spiritual Resource Center that is located in the bookstore. And also your flower entitles you to a 10% one-time discount in our fabulous bookstore. All right, so so Unity on the River is a center of celebration, inspiration, transformation, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold those, our core values, in your heart as we recite our mission and vision statements. Right. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. In our vision, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. All right, and we have a few brief announcements. Today, we have a Healers Open House that will be held in Unit 6C. There are signs with arrows pointing to where that is down on this side. We'll have different modalities of healers available. And that starts at 12 p.m. today. Okay, and then we also have Rama Anasio is back. Rama, would you please stand? Okay. Rama will be hosting a healing current and meditative prayer at 12 p.m. and then an Archangel Michael in our Care Faith attunement at 2 p.m. There are just a few limited spots available, so please sign up in our Spiritual Resource Center. Okay. And then on October 4th, where the heck did I get that? On February 4th, we have our annual meeting, and that'll also be a potluck, and we will have childcare available. This is a really important process, and it's a great process to be a part of. This is one of the things that I was just so amazed when I first came to Unity on the River, is that we actually have a say in how we be as a community. And so your presence at these community meetings are really important. All right. And bring something to eat. This time I remembered to tell people to bring food. Okay. All right. So this is the time in the service where we like to stand and we like to rise and look into each other's eyes and say, Namaste, I see you. I see your brilliance. I see your heart. Namaste.
So Les is back with us with the heart opener. This is Leslie Smith, for those of you who don't know. She's our guest artist today. It's always fun to have Les in the house.
What will happen?
This is someone's in need of a prayer today.
Someone's in need of a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from your heart? So many are trying to find their way, and they need your light, you know. For our prayer of love lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Ooh, yes it does. Have you spoken the word today? Did you give your all in prayer? The world's in need of what you say. Did you answer the call and pray? So many are seeking to find a way, and we need your light, you know. For our prayer of love lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love lifts them high. It heals So throw open your mind and use your heart. And don't waste the time and don't delay. Somebody's in need of prayer today. Ooh, yeah. Somebody's in need of a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Did you pray with all your heart? Just listen to the Spirit. It's telling you to heed the holy call. My prayer of love, it lifts them high. It heals us, it stains them, and sets us free. Your prayer of love, don't you know it lifts me high? Will you heal me, you sustain me, and you set me free? I said your prayer of love, don't you know now? It sustains us, it sets us free, 'cause that prayer, your prayer, my prayer, our prayer, well, it heals us, it sustains us, and it sets us free. Yeah.
All right, let's all pass the plate and go home. Just say nothing more to be said after that. Hi. How many of you were here last week and enjoyed Reverend Shipley's talk last week? I was in New York. Some of you may or may not know this. I was in New York last week, the whole weekend, because my daughter's Joy, her dance comes. Oh, hey, there you are. Hey, Joy. I wasn't sure if she was here today because now she drives herself, so if she shows up, it's a little bit of a gamble. But I had, just so you know, I was fully confident you'd be here. Didn't know if you were, but I was confident. Anyways, her dance company was part of the showcase that was performing at Carnegie Hall, so I was there to, yeah, that's for her. So I was there because, you know, when you prioritize things in your life, seeing your child dance on one of the world's biggest stage is like number one. So, love y'all, but that took precedent. But later in the week, you know, as I was working on my talk and having some ideas about what to talk about, I said, well, let me check out Shipley's talk on YouTube and see what she talked about last week. So, you know, I fire up YouTube and I'm getting my pad and paper together to maybe jot down some notes and stuff. So it's kind of like on playing in the background, and I'm kind of like half listening. And then she says something that makes me really pay attention. And she says, don't tell Reverend Ogun this. And by the way, none of you told me, so I now see where your loyalties really lie. Thanks a lot. But she said something, it's kind of like a throwaway statement, you know, so it wasn't anything serious. But she said, don't tell Reverend Ogun this, but, you know, us ministers, we only really have one talk. And do you guys remember, you remember a few years back, there was this TV show called Breaking the Magician's Code, where there's this magician and he wore a mask, and the whole show was revealing to people and telling people how the magician tricks were done. And when she said this thing, I was like, come on, Shipley, you broke the minister's code. We're not supposed to let people know. They either got to figure this out for themselves or they don't. And they continue to be wowed by us basically saying the same thing every Sunday. Like, yeah, don't break the code. But she did. And then I was like, you know what? You know, that's not true. Ministers only have one talk. Guess what? I got two. I got 2 talks. First one, which you've often heard me say, everything that happens in our life is an opportunity for us to show up as God. That's like my main message. And the second one that I have is basically, I believe we are meant to live an abundant life. So I was like, see, I got 2. And the more I thought about the second one, I was like, you know what, that's just a derivation of the first one. So, damn it, she was right. We only do have 1 talk. We just package it in a lot of different ways. Please don't hear this as you stay home on Sunday now. Keep showing up. Keep showing up to hear all the creative ways I spin that one message, and for other guest speakers, and see how they share their core message. And I believe that's true for each and every one of us. There's like the one thing, we hit this aha moment in our spiritual journey of like, this is my thing. This is the thing that's driving me. This is the core, whether it's to, show up as love, whether it's to, I don't know what your thing is, but when we break it down, I believe for each and every one of us, there's ultimately one main message that has spoken to us, and we realize this is why we're here. And for mine, that's simply it. Everything that happens in our life, because, we spend a lot of time, first of all, trying to not make a bunch of things happen, and also trying to make a bunch of things happen that aren't happening, right? Here's what's happening, I don't like it. How do I stop it from happening? Here's what's not happening that I'd like to happen. How do I make that happen, right? It's a lot of time. But for me, I realize, everything that happens in my life, everything that happens is an opportunity for me to show up as God, period. Look a lot of different ways, but that's it for me. That is it for me. And as we're going into 2018, the other thing that I love that she asked last week is like, how'd you survive 2017? Like, I don't know if you guys remember this. Go back and watch her talk if you don't remember. All her talks are on YouTube. But she said, so, 2017's over. How'd you do? Like, if you've been scouring the internet, there's a lot of pictures and memes about, like, 2017. Thank God it's over. People are, like, crushing it, and people are, like, having things, like, actual images of 2017 blowing up and like, hammering, and we're like, thank God that's over with, But, again, let's remember these dates that we have, these, December 31st, 2017, January 1st, 2018, they're just arbitrary measures of time. Our lives didn't suddenly, boom, something magical happened, okay? So it's one continuation. So for me, it's like, okay, so yeah, 2017 is over, 2018 is now upon us, but in the grand scheme of any day of the year, what are we doing differently to show up as God? More specifically today, and for the next 3 Sundays, I'm asking the question, what are we doing to live the abundant life that is our divine birthright? What are we doing to live the abundant life? What are we doing to live the abundant life each and every day? What are we doing? How are we thinking? How are we speaking? So that every day we're on this planet, it feels like we're in the flow of abundance. What are we thinking? What are we saying? And what are we doing? So that it feels like every day we are on this planet, we're in the flow of abundance. And when I say abundance, it's kind of like a derivation of that, my core thing. Abundance is showing up as God. Abundance is realizing that in each and every moment of our lives, no matter what happens, this too is God. This too is ultimately big G good, not small g good. Small g good is a very relative thing. Oh, this tastes good. Oh, this tastes bad. Not that good. Big G good. Big G good means that everything that happens, every instance we're in, every opportunity, this too is divine. Where is God in this? Oh, here I am. Yeah. When stuff happens and we go, where is God in all this? Where is God? Here I am. Here I am, Lord, send me. Look no further than yourselves. And to remember that and to be in the flow of that, for me, that's what abundance is really all about. So that's what I'm going to spend the next 3 Sundays. And today, we're going to focus on where everything begins in our lives, in the old noggin, our minds, our thoughts. Are our thoughts, say that fast 5 times, are our thoughts reflecting that truth? Are our thoughts reflecting what we say we believe in terms of, I'm the presence of God? Even if you don't believe you're the presence of God, you know, we got that whole catchphrase, fake it till you make it. Even if you don't believe you're the presence of God, can you think that way? Are your thoughts flowing that way? So, let's start with one of my favorite Bible verses. We go in biblical today, folks. Hold on to your hats. Okay, I know some of you got this like love-hate relationship with the Bible. I hope in the last 3 years I've been able to kind of like smoothen that out a little bit. But here we go. So in John chapter 10, Jesus says, I am the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Now, if you're like me and you grew up in a very traditional church, that line was used as one of the supporting arguments of you have to accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. Why? Because he said it. He said he was the gate. You got to go through the gate. You got to go through Jesus. This is the thing. All right, so if there's still some hang-ups about that, like take it off the hanger, put it in another closet. And remember, here we are in unity. It's a metaphysical approach to the Bible. So everything that we read in the Bible is a reflection of our own spiritual journey. So anytime we read something about Jesus, whether he said it or did it, is a reflection of the Christ nature within us, the innate God self within us. So basically we read this as saying the God self of us, we call it the Christ nature, you want to call it the Buddha nature, you want to call it the seed of love, call it whatever you want to call it. I really don't care. But that innate divine piece of who we are, this is the gate. This is the entryway. Metaphysically, the gate represents the spiritual mind. So that piece of us is really the opening into the spiritual mind. Because why? Because everything that you see, experience, begins in the mind of God. Why? Because God is all that is. God is all that is. We still wrestle with that. I talk to people every day who've been in unity forever. We still wrestle with that. You tell me this is God? Yes, this is. Really? Yes, this is. How can this be? Why? Because everything begins in the mind of God, one, mind. And then because of that, we're imbued with ideas, two, and then we express those ideas. Now, here's where it starts to fall apart. Is that often many of us choose to express these divine ideas in ways that the rest of us don't agree with. Let that sink in for a moment. So, for example, a divine idea is creativity. Creativity, neither good nor bad, right? It's a divine idea. Why? God is creation. God doesn't create because God's not a thing. God doesn't create. God is the very idea, essence, presence of creation. That's imbued with us, this ability to create. What are we going to create? That's when the train can fall off the track sometimes. Because let's go back to where it all starts. Thought. What thoughts do we create in our mind? So I posted a picture on Facebook. It was a cartoon that talked about winter. And again, this is my journey, because sometimes I put stuff up there, and then I'm like, ooh, that was kind of scary, reflecting my thoughts that went off the train. So it was a picture that depicted winter, and it said winter, December, festival of lights, joy and giving. January on, cold gray suck. Yeah, right? So what did I just create? I just created a relationship with winter that says, basically leading up to Christmas, oh my God, it's so beautiful. The lights twinkling off the snow. We all bundled up together. Yay! And then January, it's like, oh my, get away from me. You're too close. There's all this ooh, and gray and sucking ice, and I'm like, I'm driving a sports car and this fish tailing all over the place, and I hate winter, So, but where did that begin? Up here. I mean, you look outside, there's no real difference in the winter before December 25th and after December 25th. It is what it is. It snowed on December 25th here. You guys remember this? And we all woke up, it's a white Christmas, it's beautiful, yay! 2 weeks later, it was like, oh my God, it's a blizzard, what's happening? Right? It starts up here with our thoughts. And our thoughts are either going to emanate from the Christ nature of who we are, or it's going to emanate from the human side of us based on past experiences, based on that, what's happening, I don't want to happen anymore, or what's not happening, I wish could happen. Where are thoughts coming from? Wayne Dyer, y'all know Wayne Dyer, right? So he's got a great book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And in this, he takes every verse or passage of the Tao Te Ching and writes an interpretation of it. So here's one of my favorite. So the 8th verse of the Tao Te Ching, I won't read the whole thing, it's long, but here's parts of it. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. One who lives in accordance with nature does not go against the way of things. He moves in harmony with the present moment, always knowing the truth of just what to do. He moves in harmony with the present moment, always knowing the truth of just what to do. Let's be honest. Do we always feel in harmony with the present moment? No, we don't. No, we don't. But to live in a consciousness of abundance is to be in harmony with every moment, to be in that flow. Here's what else he says. The Tao asks you clearly to see the parallels between you and this naturally flowing substance that allows life to sustain itself. Become as contented as the fluid that animates and supports you. Let your thoughts and behaviors move smoothly in accordance with the nature of all things. It is natural for you to be gentle, to allow others to be free to go where they're inclined to go, to be as they need to be without interference from you. It is natural to trust in the eternal flow, to be true to your inner inclinations, stick to your word. It is natural to treat everyone as an equal. Be careful not to assign yourself a place of importance above anyone else. Be receptive to everyone, particularly to those who may not routinely receive respect, such as the uneducated, the homeless, or troubled members of our society. Look for the Tao in everyone you encounter. Make special effort to have acceptance, gentleness, and kindness course through you to others. That's living in a place of abundance. That's part of not just being in the flow, but being the flow yourself. But it starts up here. It starts with recognizing when you may have a thought that I always like to say is less than divine, to notice it. And don't let it get past the thought. I'm a person who, more so now than used to be, where the filter between mind and mouth was very porous. Lots of big holes, right? So as soon as it came up here, it came out here, okay? And I'm working on it. It is a work in progress. But it begins with being mindful of our thoughts. It begins with when we hear or do something, not even before we do, actions later, when we hear something or have a thought about something, to really examine, what am I thinking about this? Because the thoughts will lead to different things later. It'll lead to our words. It'll lead to our actions. Even here in this spiritual community, when we hear things sometimes and we start generating thoughts about what we heard, we've got to be mindful of where it takes us. So I want to share something now that, again, I spoke about this before. We spoke about this at a community meeting, me and the board. We addressed this, but it's one of those fun rumors that's alive and well. Okay, and I was going to wait till the annual meeting to deal with it, because anytime we have a community meeting or an annual meeting, I devote a time to, okay, so here's the rumors I've been hearing about me, and here's the truth behind those rumors. Okay, I spend some time doing this. Why? Because sometimes when we hear things and we generate thoughts, and we build on those thoughts, if it's not something positive we agree with, it leads to resentment. It leads to resentment, and then we're upset about what Reverend Ogun did. And then we're like angry with Reverend Ogun. And we don't understand how the board can be supporting Reverend Ogun in what he did. And then we are angry, so then we leave the church and we don't come back. When it was simply, you heard incorrectly. Okay? So I'm going to say this. I hope I don't have to say this again. Please spread the word. The board encouraged me to say it on a Sunday morning where there's a wider audience. It will live forever on YouTube, because when you put things on the internet, they live forever. Okay? So I will say this. Hold on to your hats. In the time that I've been here as your minister, and the time before I was your minister, just cover all the bases, I have never engaged in a romantic or sexual relationship with anyone on the board, in this congregation. Being frank with you, because this is a rumor that is still out there alive and well, okay? And many people have been upset by this. Many people have been upset by this. So I'm being vulnerable, I'm bearing it out there. There are people who think that they're individuals who resign from the board over this, okay? And you're probably thinking, if he's protesting about it so much, there must be something there, because that's how our minds work. That's the thoughts, you know. That saying, thou dost protest too much. Remember that? Okay. So I don't know what your definition of too much is, but this is only the second time I'm addressing this. Okay, so didn't happen. Didn't happen. And honestly, if you think it did, and the board is trying to cover it up, then you don't trust your board. And if you don't trust your board, that means you don't trust yourselves. Why? Because you are the board. Our board members come from you, the congregation. In fact, our annual meeting on the 4th, we're gonna elect some new board members. They are you. And these people are of the highest integrity, these board members. They don't let me get away with nothing. Seriously, least alone something like that. Okay? They're always on me still about the whole returning emails thing. Like, come on, write your emails, Reverend Ogun, talk to people. So they don't let me get away with nothing. Why? Because they're of the highest integrity. They hold me to the highest of integrity. I hold them to that as well. But again, we have our thoughts, and our thoughts run away with us and take us to some dark places. And if you're having thoughts that are leading you into resentment, that are leading you into anger, that are leading you into less than loving thoughts and actions, then you're out of the flow of abundance. Because abundance is about trust and integrity and love. And I always say this, and I'm going to keep on saying it. If you hear stuff that doesn't seem right, if you hear stuff that's making you like discontent, or come see me, go see a board, ask the question. And that person did that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known that this thing is still like circulating, like it's over a year later. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this still, kind of deal? I'm like, yeah, people, what you gonna do? Okay, so be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of your thoughts. Gonna go old school unity now to wrap up. This is a book called Prosperity's 10 Commandments. It's by Georgiana Tree West. She was a unity minister back in the day. She founded the Unity Center in New York in like the late 30s. Okay? And this book is really clever. What it basically does is take the 10 Commandments and reinterprets them in the context of prosperity and abundance. It's really pretty clever. I don't even know if we have any in the bookstore. We'll make sure to get some. So she takes the first commandment. For example, anyone know the first commandment? Technically, I don't know if that's right. No, but thou shalt have no other gods before me. First commandment. But what you said was right too. You're welcome. Yeah, partial credit. Partial credit. That is how Jesus summed up all the commandments by that. So, partial credit for that. First commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Okay? When we look at that from being in the flow of abundance, what does that really mean to us? It means to remember that everything begins in God. Everything begins in God. Everything begins in God. So if you hear some thoughts that are disturbing, you're having disturbing thoughts in your mind, you're like, did that begin in God? Did that begin from a place of love? Did that begin from a place of my spiritual presence? I don't know. Second commandment. Remember the second commandment? You shall not make for yourself an idol. So no idols. Remember, there's a big thing, if you remember the story of Moses, there's a big thing about them making the golden calf when Moses went off onto the mountain to get the 10 Commandments, and he came back down, and on his way back down, rumor has it there was 15, and he dropped the tablet, but that's a whole other thing. So he came down with the 10 Commandments, and he sees the people, with this golden calf, and he's like, I was gone for like 10 minutes. What happened? Don't build any idols. So again, what does that mean in our thoughts? In our thoughts. Don't dwell on thoughts that are anything other than thoughts of abundance and of God. Don't build an idol of lack. Don't build an idol of I wish things were different. And get into that place of forgetting that this too is my opportunity to show up as God. This too is for me to be the presence. Don't get bogged down in those people at Union River, they don't know what they're doing, and this is all you focus on. No, be the presence. You want to be the change and make sure everything's going right here? Come join the board. Open to everyone. Come serve. Come be part of the community. Come be in leadership here. Your thoughts, it all begins here. And when we can tweak these and transform these, that's, as they say, when the magic really happens. That's when our words will be different. That's when our actions will be different. And over time, it becomes more and more effortless. And we truly become avatars. There is no difference between you and any other avatar that has walked this planet. Except for maybe they've practiced a little bit more than we have. But you know what? They got the same 24 hours in the day than we do. So let's practice. Let us practice being the abundance. Let's practice being the divine. Let's practice our thoughts being of God. So I have a special treat for you today. Good friend Rama is going to come lead our meditation. Come on up, Rama. And so I did tell him, we talked today about, he's like, do you want me to meditate for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever? And I said, you know what? Whenever I'm done talking, let's just meditate so that we can wrap it up at about 10 till, so we have time for the service. Well, as always, I've talked too long. It is now 10 till. But he's going to do what he does, and we're going to just forget that there's a time, that there's a clock. We're going to be fully present. You're going to get home in time to see the Patriots play. Don't worry. Listen, I know that's what half you're in here thinking about. So don't worry. Allow yourselves to be fully present to this experience right now. Allow yourselves to open your hearts and your minds to really go in deep right now, whether it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And allow yourself to really connect and invite yourself to connect mind and heart. Bypass the mouth, mind and heart, so that your thoughts come from the God place, from the God self, from your Christ center, so that your thoughts are of flow of abundance. Come on.
Good morning. May I just briefly say, earlier this week I was in a car accident, and I was taken away in an ambulance, and one of the things that was going through my mind, there were a lot of things going through my mind at that point, and one of the things I was sad and disappointed about was that I might not be able to come here, might not be able to see you all, and just to be here with twinkling lights, all the jokes, smiling faces, and this smoking band right here. It's a pleasure, and you're all wonderful. It's a pleasure. When I was emailing with Ogun and Peter early in the week, just considering what to do, what I'd like to do as meditation for you this morning, as briefly as I can, sports fans, is I want to give you the prayer of St. Francis. In keeping with what we're speaking about here, it's about the prayer of St. Francis, which I do not believe was written by the man himself. The prayer of St. Francis is about taking how one is feeling and thinking and alchemizing it. And so I want to give this in the form of music. I have a looping pedal here, which this could go disastrously wrong. And it won't be the most awkward thing that's happened to me this week, I'll tell you that much. But I give this in the essence that prayer is our connection with divine mind. I give this in meditation. If you don't feel it, it's not your fault. It's mine. Okay? May I have a D, please? Slightly lower, please. Thank you. So let's close our eyes. Just take a nice deep breath. I seek to love, to love. Sing with me. Make me an instrument, make me an instrument, make me an instrument of your peace. Make me an instrument, make me an instrument, make me an instrument of your peace. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning we are pardoned, it is in dying we are born to eternal life, born to eternal life, born to eternal life. As we stand, we sit. The living essence, the presence of Creator flowing through us. The very gift of life, which we own. We allow this to flow forth into our life in every way, every thought, every deed, every word, every member of our family. Knowing that whether we remember it, whether we do not, it is there. Our beingness, our vitality cannot be hindered, cannot be stopped. Our very life is victory. Simply breathe it in. Breaths now. Thank you so much.
So staying in that energy, I'm going to ask the prayer box to be brought up. That energy of realizing that we are indeed instruments of the divine, instruments of peace, of love, of abundance. We hold these prayers, these prayer requests, and these individuals, these circumstances in our consciousness. Trusting and knowing that for every prayer in this box, for all the concerns of the heart, that they remember the truth of who they are. and that in the midst of the storm, they are the peace, they are the calm, they are the flow of God. Should you hold that intention for anyone else, I invite you to say the names out loud now. In so doing that, we affirm for them and for ourselves that we are the instruments of the divine being played. We are the notes, the harmony. We're the music of all that is flowing through the universe. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. And I'd like to hold a special prayer of condolence for the family of Nancy Moore. I don't know if you guys remember Nancy. She was a member of our community for quite a few years. She recently relocated to Sedona a few months ago, and just this past week, suddenly, unexpectedly passed away. There's going to be a memorial service held for her at Unity of Sedona, and also here in a few weeks. The date is still being arranged with her family. So our hearts go out to the family and to Nancy as well. She was a radiant light here. Those of you who knew her, I remember her being in my absolute abundance class, and she was just a radiant light. And it's always kind of like a bittersweet place to be in when someone who's meant so much and part of our community passes away, because it is sad, and we can hold ourselves in that sadness and feel it, and at the same time have those remembrances of joy and gratitude for the life that she was and how she served. Nancy was indeed a person who lived in that abundance and in that flow and touched so many of us. So, yeah. So I hope that when we do have that service, that many of you are going to be, we'll announce it, and that many of you can come and be part of us in community grieving together, and at the same time supporting her family and being in gratitude for how she showed up as God for us in Unity on the River.
I'd like to introduce our chaplains. If our chaplains can stand if they're able. These beautiful souls are here holding the high watch always, and they're available for a prayer or an affirmation of gratitude after the service. They hold your prayers in the highest of confidence. We also have a home and hospital chaplain team. If any of those members of that team, Nancy, you're available? Okay, they're available to visit anyone who's recuperating or for hospital stays. Thank you, Nancy. And Catherine, I'm sorry, Catherine. All right, and we also have a prayer team, and we have prayers available that you can request for prayer. In the back of our sanctuary, we have a prayer chest that you can put prayers in. We also now have a dedicated prayer line that you can request prayers from. And you can also send in prayer requests to our website. We want to just thank everyone who is in service here. Actually, every single person that is here is in the service in some way. We thank you for those who are actively participating in service. And we have special angels that we want to acknowledge. Lacey, Malik's mom, Lydia, and Jan. And the teams that we want to recognize this week are our welcome team, our chaplain team, our live stream team, and our youth and family ministry team. At this time, I'd like to ask our current board members to stand. These wonderful individuals that hold the high consciousness for this community are available if you have any questions after the service. Thank you, board members. Also, we want to thank those that make Wednesday night services happen. This week's Wednesday night service, that's Mahdi service, will be led by Meg Rain.
I'm guessing Amy might be in a hurry to go see the Patriots game because she forgot to invite you to give your offering. We're not going to let you get out of here without doing that. So if you don't mind getting your tithe and offering together, don't worry about it. We all forget stuff. And share with me our affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And while we are collecting the offering, just a couple quick announcements. You saw this flyer, I think, last week, and I'll show it to you again. This is an amazing Unity cruise that's happening in March of 2019, and never too early to plan to get out of the cold. March 2019. If you remember, at some point last year, there was the invitation for a cruise to go to Barcelona, and the overwhelming response I got from you was, that sounds like a great idea, but A, it's too long. It was like a 3-week cruise and cost too much. So we're coming back to you with another option, because you also said, hey, if it was a shorter cruise, like to the Caribbean or something, maybe we'd go. So here's your shorter cruise to the Caribbean. It's March of 2019. It'll be me and 3 other fabulous uni ministers, Reverend Ellen Davenport, who's been here, Linda Martella Whitsitt, who's been here, Temple Hayes, who is just like this amazing like firestorm of energy from down in Fort Lauderdale, Uni of Fort Lauderdale. Come join us on this cruise. You get a special discount and the opportunity to have special dinner with the 4 of us on the cruise if you sign up by the end of the month, okay? Take your time to think about it, but not too long. Also, this is a fundraiser, fun, F-U-N-D, F-U-N-D, for our community. Everyone that signs up, we get a portion of the proceeds that they raise on this cruise, okay? So this is a way to raise your fund level, F-U-N fund level, and our funds level, F-U-N-D-S, by coming on the cruise. And like I said the last time I was trying to advertise the cruise ship Ogun is a lot of fun. You think I'm fun now, cruise ship Ogun is a lot of fun, okay? Okay, so consider that. Also, on, let me get the right date, Tuesday, February 13th, we're going to be showing an amazing movie here called Tomorrow. Okay, Tomorrow is, it's kind of documentary style film, but it's really one of those like how do we actually make a tangible difference in our actions as community, as individuals living with each other. And this is not just a showing a film and then you go home to figure it out. No, there's a film, but then in some weeks later, affinity groups meet to actually plan and carry out things. There's a whole body of people in the greater Newburyport area who are behind this, including, you guys know Kathy Etsy? Kathy, right, is that her name? Paula Etsy and Rosemary Finn were members of our, there's Rosemary, hey Rosemary, I didn't realize you were here, hey. So talk to Rosemary afterwards, but they're part of this group who are behind this movie and behind saying, you know what, we actually gotta do something. Take those thoughts from words into action. So please come check out the movie, talk to Rosemary if you need some more information about that. It'll be here February 13th, like I said, and then there's some dates for groups afterwards. So let's bless our offering and then get you guys to your football game. It's not till when? I know, but I know people are anxious, Barry. They're anxious. I can feel it building. I can feel it. So I just want to make sure everybody's cool. So, taking a breath, touching that place of gratitude in your hearts. Let us give thanks for these gifts, these reflection of the abundance for who we are. So for all of you who have given here in the sanctuary, for all those of you who have given online, those of you watching, those of you who give in all the other ways that you give during the week, we say thanks. And we are honored that we can take a portion of these, tithe back to the Unity Movement, give to all the great organizations that are helping others in this area. We are indeed in the flow of abundance, and we give thanks, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. And now, a little more Leslie.
I'm back. Let's have some fun. As if we haven't had enough fun already. Let's just increase our fun quotient even more. There's really a great reason to come here in person, isn't there? Yes. Because it's just not the same when you're live streaming, not to discourage you live streamers, but to invite you on down. Come on down. Be here in person with us. Thank you. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby, just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. My love is alive, way down in my heart, even though we're miles apart. If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there in a double, just fast as I can. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
Leslie Smith. Thank you, Leslie.
Leslie Smith.
Woo!
Great job.
Stay on your feet and welcome in our youth and family ministry, Walking as the Light.
We are walking as the light of God. 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 We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God.
Namaste. Stand in the presence. So today in Youth and Family, we played a lot of games, we did a little bit of art, and we also talked about that this is the month of faith. So we explored a little bit about belief and perception, and we did a little exercise where they all found their own blind spots. So if you don't know how to do that, I'm happy to do that with anyone in the room, so it's very easy. Anyways, namaste, thank you.
You know what? That's a great idea for a talk. Spiritual blind spots. Yeah, you should do that sometime. Thank you. Thank you. See, they inspire. They inspire. Let's stand, take the hand of person next to you. Hang around at 12 for Rama and his, what is it you're doing at 12 again? The healing current. There you go. If you can, stick around, spend some time with Rama at 12. Let's affirm the truth for the world, the children, ourselves. There is peace. It begins with us. Let there be peace on earth.
The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed.
Go be in the flow.
Ain't no mountain high or no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby, just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Take it easy. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everybody. Nice.
too. That's the only thing about women. Oh, yeah? All right. The wrecking crew. It's like Johnny David's idiot. All right. Oh my God, I saw about the back. Yeah. No. And then going right into that. I think
Bri, what would you like for a heart opener? You can think about it, honey. There's plenty of time. You've got 3 if you want me to do it, Bri. If you want me to do it, no worries. Because you'll have 2. Okay. What, honey? Yeah. Yeah, take your time. There's no rush. I sent PowerPoint out Wednesday morning, so we're in good shape. Minute Joey's up.